to the 12 days of Seedmas. So if you are new here and you don't know what's going on, I am doing a 12 days of Seedmas where I give away packs of seeds every night and we just play like gardening related trivia questions. You got to go in there, bub. Babe, you got to get him. He doesn't have pants on. Come here. If you want to say hi, just come over here so they can't see you don't have pants, bub. Say hi real quick. Hi. All right, go in there with Dada. You got to get him, babe.
Oh, wait.
Sorry about that. That's why I was late because he just got back from hunting with Daddy, and so I haven't seen him all weekend, so we were playing. And then I tried to print the things for the games for tonight, and it wasn't working. But, so, back to what I was saying. I give away seeds, playing like trivia. Usually it's like garden related trivia about vegetables and cut flowers and just regular flowers. And the last couple days I've thought of some new games we could do, like name that seed, name that beneficial insect, or name that pest. And so sorry. And so another thing, for anyone watching the replay, if you're watching this after it's live, you also can still win. During the live, I give away 3 packs per night, so you have kind of more of a chance to win packs of seeds, but you can still enter by emailing me the word that I say throughout the video. So throughout the video, I will say some random word, and then you just email it to me, and then out of everyone that emails me from the replays, then I'm going to pick one winner. So, you know, if 10 people watch that day's replay, then, you know, you have a 1 in a 10 chance of winning. But if you're there live, I feel like it's more of a chance to win. And let me pull up the video so that I can see your all's comments, because it's so far away, it's harder to see. And I am going to try to keep this one quick. That's another thing I was doing. I was trying to get dinner ready so that right after this, I could hurry up and finish dinner and then get to bed, because I've not gotten that much sleep this weekend, and I woke up with a really bad headache today. So I want to try to get to bed, not early, but at a reasonable time tonight. I'm pretty sure Nicole and Joe and everyone that was here last night, y'all are back, so y'all know that we stayed up a little late last night on the chat, which that was super fun. And David and Diana getting to chat with y'all last night. All right, I can see your comments now. Nicole said it was so much fun. Yes, it was. It's so nice to be able to talk to other gardeners, not in person, but, you know, on the lives. It's kind of like being in person instead of just typing and not always like really seeing a face to the other person. So that's another reason I love doing these videos, because whenever I'm like out in the garden or cut flower farm area doing videos, like I'm looking at a screen and it's hard for me to picture a person. I usually just picture like a crowd of people. And whenever I get to talk to y'all on these lives and get to know y'all more, then it's easier for me to be more of like myself and not as nervous and kind of feel who I'm talking to. David said, hi everyone in the Seed Squad. Yeah, so I put a post up talking about how I missed the other night and how I was going to be here for last night's. And I called everyone my Seed Squad. And I told, because it's usually like the same ones that are here always trying to win seeds. And y'all are also seedaholics like myself. So I'm going to call y'all my seed squad from now on. And I see Brandy is here. And my mom stopped by. Hello, Mom. Thank you. Make sure you watch the whole video. I've been letting everyone know, please watch the whole video. Because if you just stop in for a second and then leave, then YouTube doesn't keep showing it to new people because they have people clicking off the video and they think it's not a good video because they're not watching the whole thing. And I'm trying to get my channel monetized. Alright, so looks like we have Nicole, Brandy, Joe, David. I don't see Rochelle or Diana. I kept calling her Deanna last night. Your kitten Paige says hi. Hello, Paige. Alright, so if I forget to say a word here in a few minutes, remind me. But I'm going to go ahead and get started. I didn't prepare any questions because I was wanting to do more of the name that beneficial insect trivia type game, and my printer, excuse me, there I go again, always burping. I never burp until I do these videos. But my printer would only let me print this one sheet, and I don't know why it always says that it's not connected to the internet, and my laptop does the same thing. As soon as I go to do this live and pull up the video to see the comments, it says not just like my Wi-Fi is gone, but like everyone in the neighborhoods is gone. Oh, I see Natasha. Hello, Natasha. Thank you for being here tonight. It looks like we've got 11 people watching. So if you're watching, you haven't said anything, comment so I know you're here. And also, let me know if you do vegetable gardening or cut flowers, if I don't already know what kind of gardening you do. That way I know, because I'm going to have to think of some other questions here in a second, and that way I'll know whether I should do them about vegetable gardening or about cut flowers. Because I try to ask questions that people will know the answers to. And then if you haven't liked the video, do me a favor and like the video. And Nicole and Joe and Deanna, there I go again, Diana, and everyone that chatted on I named it the after the seed giveaway chat, because whenever I was doing the giveaway, my phone went dead. So then I threw it on the charger and then we went live again. So I named that video after the giveaway chat. If you could go back and like that video for me. David says, yeah, David, I know you do mostly veggies, but some flowers for the pollinators. That's what got me to discover the whole world of cut flowers and eventually start a cut flower farm. Was I just did vegetables, and I felt like I had such a small space that I didn't like allow myself to use it for flowers because I felt like it was like, I don't know, like for my own joy. And I felt like, no, I need to use all this space for vegetables because, I'm doing this to try to save money and grow my own food. But then whenever I learned that flowers are beneficial because they bring in beneficial insects that, will prey on the pests, and then they will also bring in more pollinators, which the more bees and butterflies and things that you have pollinating the flowers on like your tomatoes and your cucumbers and things like that, the more fruit you're going to end up with. And then I realized like how much joy they brought me, and I started cutting them for neighbors and giving them to friends, and that's what got it all started. Then I discovered Nicole from Flower Hill Farms YouTube channel, and the rest is history. Joe, you said I grow both without knowing what I'm doing with either. That's how I was for the first good chunk of years. It can be hard to really learn because like everything, can need a different amount of fertilizer. It can need a different type of soil. Most veggies need like the same type of soil and about the same amount of nutrients. But flowers, especially like in your flower beds, those and like perennials and shrubs, that's where it gets really difficult because, something like echinacea or lavender, it can grow in like really crummy soils. But if they don't like a lot of water, something like a sunflower, it can grow in really crummy soils. Something like sedum, it actually will not grow well if it has too much fertilizer. Like that's when it starts getting a lot more difficult. David says, or Nicole says, I missed a few of them. Brandy says, I'm 3 glasses in. What about you? Nicole says, I spent most of the day drinking, trying to sober up. David said, gardeners are always learning. Don't get disappointed if things don't go perfectly, Natasha. Yeah, I think that's why I love gardening so much because I always love learning. I always said if college was free, I would be enrolled every single semester because I think that's part of my like anxiety and like overthinking part of me. I'm always, I don't know, I do good if I'm constantly thinking about what I'm going to do next and how I'm going to do it and on the computer doing some kind of research to learn how things grow and what's the best spacing and things like that. David, you said you are the same way. Yeah, I wish you wish you could get paid to attend. I would go for free. Like, I finally went back to school because I had a scholarship whenever I first graduated high school, and I was the first person in my family to go to college, so I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't have any help with like none of the paperwork or anything like that, and my advisor wasn't very much help, and I had moved the summer before I started college, and I didn't know that whenever I got on my FAFSA to change my address, it considered me that I resubmitted it, and I lost my scholarship, and I didn't know until after I had like not signed up for the next semester that I could have appealed it and tried to like explain what happened, and I was freaking out about like not being able to pay, and I just didn't sign up for the next semester and all that. But I finally, before I got pregnant with our son William, finally, because we had to go through fertility treatments for many years, I finally was like, I'm gonna go back to school. I'm gonna do what I need to do to be able to pay for it and all that. And then I was like, okay, I can't work full time, and I ended up getting rear-ended while I was pregnant with him and all that. So I finished out the semester and then didn't sign back up again. David said, I used to be a tutor. I was a tutor in medicinal chemistry when in pharmacy college. Nicole said, that's impressive. Yeah, that's impressive. I was good at math. And so everyone said I should be good at chemistry, but when it came to chemistry, I was no good. But I also think it was partly my teacher, the way he taught. I just didn't understand, and so yeah, I didn't do well in chemistry. But I loved math, and I loved art, math, and English. All right. Anyways, I can hear my son in there. He's wanting to come out and probably play some more before dinner time. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the couple pictures that I have. And if you're new tonight or watching the replay and you haven't watched yesterday's, part of the reason why I wanted to start doing these other type of games, someone had answered ladybug to one of the questions when I said name a common pest. And it reminded me, because a ladybug is actually a beneficial insect, a very, very beneficial insect, because they will eat aphids and things like that, mainly aphids, which are a huge pest. And it just reminded me that, back whenever I was a beginner gardener, I just thought all bugs were bad. If they were on my vegetables, I needed to get them off. And when you're first starting out, well, when I first started out a long time ago, you didn't really hear about organic gardening and the negative effects that spraying pesticides and herbicides and all that had. So I was, spraying a lot of bad chemicals that now I know, like, I don't want that in my food, and I don't want to be killing all the beneficials either. So that's why I was like, I thought of this as a way to educate, but also like have some fun and give some seeds away. Brandy said, I want to start my perennial garden in 2024. Flowers, veggies, apothecary, and those that do a combination. Yeah, definitely. I just said definitely twice. I definitely recommend doing flowers and veggies. And yeah, I once wanted to get into like all of those that provide like medicinal benefits, like calendulas and lavenders and things like that, and get the products that I need to get extract the essential oils out of them and stuff like that. But I'm trying not to get into too many projects at once. David, you said math isn't your best subject. You like imagining the shape and structure of hormones and steroids and stuff and how they fit into receptors in the body. Kind of like Legos. I'm a nerd. That's, the human body has always fascinated me also. I remember doing a project in school where we were learning about veins and capillaries and all that and how they work together, and yeah, like things like that. It does, like, especially whenever I got pregnant with him and I started researching the whole you know the whole stages from conception to 9 months whenever you go to give birth. It's amazing what our bodies do. The right teacher can make a world of difference, and the wrong one, oof. Yeah, it really can. Like, that's my fourth grade teacher. She's the one that she used to always teach us about like recycling and the effects of like littering and stuff like that. And ever since then, I've been like so into like environmental, what's the word? Like trying to like not harm the environment and not litter and like try to conserve and recycle and things like that. And I remember after like her class one day when she first talked about it, I like went home and was like, I asked my mom to buy me a shredder, and I wanted to start making sure that every bit of paper went into the recycling bin. And I mean, that's a good thing, but yeah. All right, so let's do the first one. And let me go ahead and say the word. And if you're watching the replay, do me a favor and don't click off the video as soon as you hear the word and go email me. Finish the video first, please. But for today's word, let's do Let's do green beans because I have some green beans that I canned this summer over here that I'm looking at. Becky Williams, I'm late. That's okay. We're just about to get started. And make sure if you haven't liked the video yet, you like it for me. All right, so the first one, got celosia seeds on my paper. Oh no, that's not celosia seeds. That's black ink. That's weird. Yeah, I'm having an issue with my printer. David said, what kind of green beans did I grow? So I grow, what variety did I grow? Provider green beans. And then my neighbor that, I have an elderly neighbor that she can't keep up with her garden like she used to. And now that she's getting older and her husband has passed away, so my husband, we always go over there and try to help her. Well, he cuts her grass each week, and then I try to help her keep up on like the weeds and stuff. And a couple years ago, we started. She started letting me use a portion of her garden, like for helping her out, and we started growing more things in a lot larger quantities, like large rows of rolls. Why do I always say rolls every time? Rows of green beans and potatoes and corn and things like that. So like my things that I want to grow in large rows and can and process, I've been growing over there, and then my other smaller, not as large scale things I grow in my raised beds. But anyways, she grows Roma type of green bean. So I have some of the providers and then some of the Romas. I haven't tried the Romas yet. They don't look like they'll taste as good, but I haven't tried those yet. But she said that she used to grow the regular, like really round pod green beans, and the Romas, their pods are like a flattened out green bean. So I don't know. Let me know if you've tried either of those, what you prefer. The one thing I don't like about the providers, and it's the one thing that I used to always see canned, like home canned produce, and think, looking at it, that it wouldn't be as good, because some of it would be like discolored. Like the providers, the actual bean is like a burgundy-ish, like purple color, so it just looks old. I don't know, like maybe that's weird, but it's not that, bright, fresh green look. So I think next year I'm going to try to find a bean that's actually white on the inside, so that when they're canned, because you have to snap them or cut them, snip off the ends and then snap them in half, and before you can them. And so a lot of the inside of the bean you can see, and it just, I don't know, the color of it just, I don't know. I haven't eaten, I don't think, any of those yet, and so that's why I pulled some out. We also canned some corn and a few other things, but her kids didn't want to learn how to can, so she was excited whenever she found out that I wanted to learn how. So she's been teaching me, and it's so easy, so simple. All of the rules like scared me for so long that I was gonna not do it right and like have bacteria or something grow, but it's so easy. And Ark Wildman Survival is back. What's your name, so I don't have to read that off every time? Howdy dropped by to hit thumbs up. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, everyone hit the thumbs up if you haven't already. All right. So, let me see what this other comment is. What do you need? It should be over there on the couch. Over there. All right, so you said I like the Kentucky Wonder bush beans for green beans. Yeah, I tried those a couple years ago, and I tried a lot of them that year. So it was before I discovered the garden marker, so I didn't know like which ones were which. So I tried a couple more last year, and the provider were one of the like best producing ones. So I bought those in like a really big bag from Johnny's. Becky said you can take courses at your extension office for a small fee, water bath and pressure canning, and you can join the Master Gardening Club and take gardening classes. Yeah, I just talked about the NRCS and the like the High Tunnel program, the High Tunnel Grant Cost Share program, and how they have a ton of other programs that you should look into that I never knew anything about. And it's literally right across the street from where I've worked for over 12 years. And I had heard about everyone saying to get a hold of your local extension office, and that's what they're there for, and stuff like that. But whenever I had Googled, like, I had a really hard time of finding out the information. And then I came across a website that led me to the NRCS website, and then it led me right to their phone number, and got a hold of them, and they came out and talked to me about all the different like programs they have and grants that are completely free that they will literally just pay for. You have to sign a contract. Like if you do the High Tunnel thing, you have to sign a contract saying that you will grow food in it for the next 5 years. That's it. And they will pay, well, the High Tunnel is a cost share program. So they'll pay 75%, and then you have to pay the other 25%. You have to pay for the whole thing out of pocket first, and then they come out, they make sure that you actually built it, and then and then they will reimburse you within, I think the longest he said would be 2 weeks. And yeah, but I had heard of that a couple years ago and then forgot about it. And then I came across a video and found out about it again. And I've been wanting a High Tunnel because I've been buying like the cheapo hoop houses from Amazon, and they don't even last a year, and like not even strong wind, and they break because the way they're built. For one, they're not made out of very good metal. But even if they were, or even if they were made out of the metal that isn't as strong, if they were made differently, it would be so much stronger. The welding, like at the intersections, the way they have it welded is just so badly made that just the little bit of wind that we had, it broke like all of the intersections, and it just keeps swaying back and forth, and more of them just keep breaking. The covers keep ripping because I have a small one and a larger one that I bought. And so I was like, forget it. I'm not buying any more of these cheapo hoop houses. I'm gonna wait and save up until I can buy a legit High Tunnel out of, the commercial grade. I don't know if it's steel or aluminum or what, but the ones that are several $1,000s. And that's when I rediscovered the video and the High Tunnel grant. Becky said, plus keeping residue from airplanes off your food is best. Yes. I feel so bad for some of the farms. I know of some other cut flower farms and just vegetable farms, or just homesteaders that live by really large like cornfields and things, that they have to deal with the drift spray from, they have to deal from the drift spray from airplanes spraying the herbicides to, like, I guess, keep all the weeds and things down when they're growing like corn and crops like that, because those they can spray, um, like, because you have weed killers that will only kill weeds, and then you have weed killers that will kill weeds, grass, like anything. And I think corn and a couple other things can be sprayed by those that will kill like everything. And they have to deal with a lot of their crops being sprayed with that every year, because they live close enough to where the wind brings it onto their property. And I couldn't imagine having to deal with that. David said, I have farm fields all around. Yeah, I feel so bad for you, because I couldn't imagine dealing with that, especially whenever you're you know not just doing, even if you are doing it as a hobby. I was going to say, especially when you're trying, because you don't have the income to, you're trying to save money, but even if you're doing it as a hobby, like, you still don't want to spend that kind of money. Like, even if you're growing flowers just for fun, you shouldn't have to deal with that. And yeah, about the master gardener thing, I've been wanting to do that. I need to look into how much it costs and everything that I need to do to be able to go through that. But all right, so and having shade here is ideal. Yes, that's one thing, that having that larger hoop house, being able to put the shade cloth on it, because I mainly wanted just a smaller hoop house to be able to overwinter my ranunculus and anemones, because those you have to plant them early enough to where they mature and start blooming before it gets too hot, but late enough so that it's not too cold. So if you plant them in the spring and it's still too cold, you know, then they're gonna freeze. But if you don't plant them early enough, then they will start to bloom once it gets like 70 degrees, and then they're not tall enough, they're not mature plants, and then they just don't do good. This year was my first year. Well, let me go back. If you overwinter them, though, if you plant them like a month before you get your first frost, as long as they're established, it's crazy how they can go through an entire winter just fine. Like, I had planted some after my last frost, or right around my last frost, and they froze and died completely back. But the ones that I planted this past year went through winter just fine, because I planted them early enough so that their roots were established, I guess. That's the only thing I can think of, because it got down to -8, and my computer just went dead. It got down to -8, and they were fine. And the winter before, it didn't even get that cold, and they still died. And my phone is getting low on battery. So let's go ahead and get this giveaway done. All right, so the first one we're gonna do, which hopefully everyone knows the answer as to what this is already. And while y'all are answering, I'm gonna grab my water because my mouth is really dry. All right, I don't know who got it first. So whoever got it first, I'm just going to say congratulations, and I will look at the video because I don't want my phone to go dead before we do the other two. And then if you could just don't answer the next two questions, so that I can try to get 3 different winners tonight, so that everyone hopefully has a chance. But yes, this is the ladybug, and there's ladybugs that are native to America, and then there's ladybugs that aren't native to America, like the Asian ladybugs that's actually starting to take over, and those can actually bite, and there's some other negatives about them, but they'll still eat aphids, so they are still good for controlling pests, but there are some downsides to some of the ones that aren't natives. And the way you can tell the difference is the number of spots that are on the native ones. I believe it's 7, but do not hold me to that, because I don't want to be wrong on that. And then for the next one, this one looks similar to a ladybug also. Let me grab something. Shoot. I don't have it in this folder. But someone said cucumber beetle. I believe that's it. Now I'm afraid I've got it confused with something else, but I'm pretty sure that's it. But I have another beetle in my mind that's making me think that's not it. But I believe that is it. It's the one that's kind of like yellowish, like lime green yellowish with spots. I had these wrote down, and I started having issues with my printer, and I didn't get everything squared away. But we're going to go with cucumber beetle. I'm the greatest host, aren't I? All right, so there's another one that I'm thinking of that's on the Mexican bean beetle. Yeah, this is the cucumber beetle. I'm thinking of the Mexican bean beetle that looks similar to this. Yeah, this one's, yeah, that's what it is. That's the one that I was going to do next, because I'm trying to talk about some that look similar, because some can look like a good bug or a bad bug and be the opposite. But this one and the Mexican bean beetle are also, those two are pests. And I have the Mexican bean beetle really bad on my beans every year. But if I plant them early enough, I don't have an issue. So that's something that I've been doing the last couple years, is trying to get, because I used to do them in successions, but now I try to plant all of them really super early before those Mexican bean beetles come out. So the Japanese beetles, they're a lot bigger than this, but they have that kind of like shell and shape, and they have like a not holographic, but they're like blue, green, brown, like metallic-y kind of look, and those are horrible. I have a really bad issue with those, and you don't want to like crush those. You want to put those in soapy water, because if you crush them, the pheromones will release, and then it attracts more. That's something I learned recently. Sometimes I would like flick them off the plant, like hit the plant to make it fall, and then step on it. And then I would come out the next day to a million more, and that's why, because it was attracting them through the pheromones. So my mom said my phone died. That's okay. Mine's about to die, so I'm trying to hurry up. So for the last question, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have y'all all answer a question for me. After this video, I'm going to let it process. Might take a couple minutes, and then upload it, and then I want you to go and answer this question, and then I'm gonna just do a random name generator and then just pick someone. So for the last question, for the last giveaway winner, answer, name your favorite vegetable to grow. So after this uploads, go back and answer that, and I'll do a random generator thing, and then I'll put in the comments who won. And then if you win, then email me your name and your address so that I can send the seeds to you. No, don't say it yet. Wait until this uploads. Don't put it on yet, because the live chat doesn't show up after this uploads. So I'm about to close off. I already said my word, right? Yes. I already said my word. So I'm about to close off, and it'll take a couple minutes to process, and then come back and type it in the comments. That way, because comments help my videos. The more like engagement that is on the videos, the more YouTube will see like, hey, people are talking and liking the video, and they will show it to people that have never seen my channel. And so yeah, so wait until I post this. So that's going to be the last one. I'm going to go ahead and get off here so I can get dinner cooking, so that I can try to get to bed at a decent time. But thank you guys for coming, and we will be back here tomorrow. I'm going to try to be back at 6 tomorrow, but I'll just have to see how the day works out, because I've been having to like rush home every day after work and hurry up and get ready for the video, and then yeah, so I'm going to try to be on at 6 tomorrow. But let me know, does 7 work better for you? If so, then I'll just keep it 7, because that's usually easier for me. And yeah, Nicole said I had fun. Yeah, I really had fun whenever we stayed on and chatted the other night. So I'm going to try to get to bed early tonight, and then hopefully I won't have to jump off so quickly tomorrow. Seven works good for you, Nicole? Okay. 4. And then that way we'll go on at 7, and then I'll already have everything ready, and then because I have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, because I have to take my son all the way to my mom's house, which is several cities up at 4, in order to do all that driving. All right, my phone's about to shut off, so see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.